Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will be learning about giving instructions and describing purpose, which is in the 7th unit of our English book. So let's begin. So let me put down the topic first. Getting instructions and describing purpose. We will divide the lecture into two halves. In the first half, we will be learning about instructions, and in the second half, we will be learning about describing purpose. So before beginning, what is an instruction? So let's start with the first half. Usually while giving instructions, we see the imperative form. The imperative form. We use instructions when someone tells you how to do something. It's when someone tells you how to do something. While giving instructions, we often use the sequencing words. These words are used to show the steps. The sequencing words usually show the steps that we need to follow. The sequencing words help you to order your instruction. These words help you order your instructions. It's like the 1, 2, 3, 4 of your instructions, the counts of your instructions. The example of sequencing words are firstly, secondly, after that, then. Notice that these words usually show the sequence of your instructions of anything that you do. Let's take an example of instruction to change the bulb, the electric bulb in our ceiling. So what do? We begin the instruction by writing, firstly, turn the electricity off. So you need to turn the electricity off at the first step because you want to avoid the current flowing into your body. Then maybe you'll write, secondly, remove the light bulb. Then you would possibly want to write, then screw in the bulb. You would want to fit the bulb or like just fix it. Then maybe finally turn electricity on and turn the light on, or maybe turn the switch on. So this is an example, an instruction to change the electric bulb in your ceiling. You can give some extra tips as well. So the extra tips, you could mention it's important to make sure your electricity is off. This is because you do not want the current to flow in your body. Also, the other tip could be always wear a glove when you touch a light bulb. So this is an example, the first example of an instruction of how to write an instruction. Now we will go through another example, one last example. So let's try writing instructions about how to make tea. So let us begin. First, take a water pot, put the pot on the gas stove and pour some water into the bottom of the pot. Then turn the gas stove on. After that, put some milk and sugar and leave it till it boils. Finally, put some tea leaves and turn the gas off. So this is an instruction to make a tea. Notice that we have used the sequencing words such as first, then, after that, and finally. In our previous example, we'd used the sequencing words firstly, secondly, then, and then finally. So these are the basic instructions. So to sum up, these are the basic instructions to write an instruction. First, you need to tell people what's necessary. Also, mention some points that describes what is wrong. Also, you can describe some points on what is not necessary. You can always leave some extra tips. So that's all for the instruction. Now we move ahead, and in the second part we will be learning about describing a purpose. Describing a purpose. In English, while describing a purpose, we use gerunds and infinitives. So use of gerunds and infinitives. Now we should know what a gerund is. A gerund always acts like a noun, but the only difference is that it has an ing in the noun. Example: loving, sleeping, studying. Now the infinitive. An infinitive always has a to before the verb. For example, to dance, to laugh, or to sleep. Here are some of the confusions that we generally face while using the gerunds and infinitives. We use for plus noun to talk about a purpose. However, this is not a gerund. Also, we never use for plus verb. This is a wrong use of language, of grammar. Now let us look at some examples of describing purpose. Examples. We need to describe something about a microwave. So here we describe the purpose of a microwave, and we start by saying a microwave oven, commonly known as microwave, is a kitchen appliance. This machine is for heating and cooking food by exposing it into electromagnetic radiation inside the microwave spectrum. Notice that here we have used heating, which is a verb plus ing. It's heat, this which is a verb plus ing, and this is a gerund. Same goes with cooking, because cook is a verb and ing makes it a gerund. Also notice that we do not use for plus heat. As I said earlier, we do not use verb preceding with a for. Instead, we use for plus verb plus ing. So it becomes for heating. Now let's look at another example. Now we describe a saw. So in this description, we have used some infinitives. We are describing about a saw. A saw is a tool used to cut wood or other items. It can be of various shapes and sizes and worked by hand or machinery. Notice that we use infinitive here, which is to plus verb, that's to cut. We can also have another example using infinitive, like I am looking at this video to learn. So this is an infinitive. We've come to the end of our lecture. Now let us revise. This is the 7th unit, giving instructions and describing purpose. First, we looked at what an instruction is. That's when someone tells you how to do something. Instruction भनेको केही पनि कुरा गर्नको लागि कसैले हामीलाई यसरी गर्ने हो भनेर भन्छ भने त्यो इन्स्ट्रक्सन हो. इन्स्ट्रक्सन लेख्नको लागि हामी सिक्वेन्सिङ वर्ड्सहरु युज गर्छौं. We use sequencing words to instruct someone. The sequencing words show the steps. यसले चाहिँ स्टेप्सहरु बताइदिन्छ, कुन अर्डरमा चाहिँ तिम्रो इन्स्ट्रक्सन जानुपर्छ भनेर सिकाउँछ. सिक्वेन्सिङ वर्ड्सले जनाउँछ कुन अर्डरमा चाहिँ तिम्रो इन्स्ट्रक्सन्सहरु जानुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ सिक्वेन्सिङ वर्डले जनाउँछ. र हामीले sequencing words firstly, secondly, after that, then these are the sequencing words that we use. Now this is an instruction. This is an example of the instruction to change the electric bulb. हाम्रो भित्तामा भएको बत्तीको बल्बलाई चेन्ज कसरी गर्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यो इन्स्ट्रक्सन यहाँ दिएको छ. Firstly, turn the electricity off. Secondly, remove the light bulb. Then screw in the bulb. Finally, turn the electricity on and turn the lights on. यो चाहिँ इन्स्ट्रक्सन हो इलेक्ट्रिक बल्बलाई कसरी चेन्ज गर्ने भनेर. पहिला इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अफ गर भनेर भनेको छ. त्यसपछि सेकेन्डली भनेको त्यसपछि लाइट बल्बलाई हटाऊ, त्यसपछि नयाँ लाइट बल्बलाई हाल र फाइनली अन्त्यमा इलेक्ट्रिसिटीलाई अन गर, बिजुली जारी गर, अनि त्यसपछि स्विच पनि अन गर र बत्ती बल्ने छ. Now we also have some extra tips where it's written that it's important to make sure your electricity is off. Electricity off हुनुपर्छ, नभए current लाग्न सक्छ. Always wear a glove when you touch a light bulb. Light bulb लाई छुनु अगाडि सधैँ पन्जा लगाएर गर्ने गर. The second example is how to make a tea. In the similar way, we have written about how we prepare tea. To sum up, we have 3 points. To sum up about how to write an instruction, we have 3 points here. First, you need to tell people what's necessary. के गर्न जरुरी छ थाहा हुनुपर्छ मान्छेलाई. what is wrong, के चाहिँ गलत हो पनि थाहा पाउनुपर्छ र कुन कुरा चाहिँ जरुरी छैन भन्ने कुरा पनि थाहा पाउनुपर्छ. What is not necessary should also be known to the readers. Also, it is very useful if you leave some extra tips. आफूलाई थाहा भएको कुनै एक्स्ट्रा कुरा दिनु सधैँ राम्रो हो. आफूलाई थाहा भएको कुनै एक्स्ट्रा टिप्स दिनु सधैँ राम्रो हो. Now we move forward with describing a purpose. पर्पसलाई डिस्क्राइब गर्ने भनेको कुनै पनि एउटा कुरालाई डिस्क्राइब गर्ने, त्यसको बारेमा लेख्ने, त्यसले के काम गर्छ त्यसको बारेमा जेनरली लेख्नेलाई डिस्क्राइबिङ अ पर्पस भन्छ. डिस्क्राइब भनेको बुझाउनु हो र यो बुझाउनको लागि वी युज जेरन्ड्स एन्ड इन्फिनिटिभ्स. हामी जेरन्ड्स र इन्फिनिटिभ्सलाई युज गर्छौँ. जेरन्ड्स भनेको के हो भने कुनै पनि नामलाई हामीले आइएनजी लगाएर थपेर लेख्छौँ भने द्याट्स अ जेरन्ड. जेरन्ड भनेको लाइक if we use a noun with an ing, it's a gerund. For example, loving, sleeping, studying. Now the use of infinitives. Infinitives भनेको हामीले verbमा to लगायो भने that's an infinitive. For example, to dance, to laugh, or to sleep. Because dance, laugh, and sleep are verbs, so if we add a to before them, it becomes an infinitive. Now this is an example of describing a purpose of a microwave, and here we have another example describing a purpose of a saw. So this is all for today's class. If you have any queries or suggestions, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching and have a great time.